Hey, good evening, folks. It's Friday night. And you know what that means. We're doing some tarot readings tonight. And so if you all stand by in a few minutes, we're going to start making a list to get together. Now, I'm going to be changing the tarot reading night from Friday to probably doing it on Tuesdays. We'll see. This will probably be the last Friday we do it. And only because I want to make sure that people have a chance to get here. A lot of people aren't available on Friday nights. You know how that all goes. So we'll see what we can do about Tuesday. And of course, there is no situation room with Rocky Stucci tonight because it's technically not Friday anymore by the time that show would air. So we've already done our Monday through Friday. That was early this morning at midnight out east. So here we are with kind of an open-ended thing. But as you know, I can only do so many of these readings before it gets a little mentally taxing. Hey, give me 1 second here. I just want to make sure that people know what we're doing. And so I just want to share this over on my Facebook that we're going right now. And so just in case, and I didn't get a chance to do that prior to coming on air. So there, now that's done. Look how easy that was. So good evening, everybody. I want to say hi to everybody that's here. We'll just do this really quick. Maybe some people look at this and say, when I'm doing radio, I probably couldn't do this. But since this is my live stream, I can do whatever the hell I want. And so I just like to say hi to everybody. So by the way, when we start the live radio show over on Odyssey and we become nationally syndicated, I might not be able to take 5 minutes of the show to go through and say hello to everybody that's here. So we'll do it as best we can. We still are going to live stream, and we're going to find a way, just like Rocky does with the Situation Room. That show that you see here on live stream, the Situation Room, every night, that's playing to 100,000 people. 26 terrestrial radio stations in the country. It's playing to several different internet networks. So there is a huge followership, a huge listenership. But the only place you can see it is right here on Rocky's YouTube. That's going to be the same thing with my show. So what you see here is just a tip of the iceberg of what's going on when we do the Situation Room. So it's good to have you all here. Audrey, nice to see you. Of course, as always, Leslie, good to see you. Louis Boyce, good to see you. And Chris Jones, how you doing? Aloha. And Becky, good to see you. And I'm just going to go through and just say hi to everybody. It's my way. It's what I like doing. And I've done it on this stream for a long time. Susie Q, nice to see you. S. Hetrick, I'm not sure if I've met you before or talked to you before, but welcome. Good to have you on the stream tonight. And let's see, Leslie, I think I said hi to you already. And some of you were talking to each other. I'm just trailing down through the chat room. And there's Lewis again, Patriots Corner. And let's see, Scott Dowers, good to have you here, brother. And let's see. And of course, some of you slip in as I'm talking and doing stuff. So I might miss you when you come in. I just like to take the opportunity to do this. Lee Ochu, good to see you, sir. And Robin, Macadang dang. Macadang dang. I love that. You know, that reminds me. I don't know why that makes me talk in that voice. Just reminded me, not because let's see, what was your first name? Macadang dang. Topper, good to see you. Now I can't find you. Damn it, Jim. So there it is. Robin. For some reason, I was just reminded because I said Macadang dang. It reminded me of some kid that we met in. It was a friend of mine. Met him in Virginia or West Virginia. They were filming a historical documentary. And this kid came up, and I don't know. It's not you that reminds me of this, Robin. Just when I said Macadang Dang and I used that voice, made me think of this. This kid came up out of nowhere on the film set where my friend was. They were all in 17th century costume. And this kid came up and goes, "My name is Billy Bob McRoy. I can't neither read nor write." My friend, he said they stood there for a moment and said, "Well, okay. Nice to meet you, Billy Bob." So maybe it's the Mac name and it's combining it with the accent. There, stream of consciousness for the night. Delaney, good to see you. Roger Rabbit, good to see you as well. And Fix It Fox, good to see you. Lucky Stone, good to see you. And so there we are, guys. And I got kind of caught up. It's a Filipino name, Macadang Dang. When you speak it just right. It's a Filipino name. Why, thank you very much. Sounds Filipino. All right. And are you serious? Do I not know that? All right. So good to have you here, folks. And Sue's good to see you as well. So I've got most of my Jerry Armitage. How you doing? Good to see you. Most of the business out of the way as far as other shows, what's going on. I'm going to announce to you one more time that, of course, I am starting up with Odyssey Radio, the Intrepid Radio program, which is this program back in its original form where it started as a radio program when I was doing it with John Ward and Rocky Stucci was our producer and would sometimes come on and be a guest with us, talk about topics of the day. That show ran for about 3.5 years with John Ward, and then he became unavailable to do it, and so we just decided to put it on the back burner, and I went on to do other things. So now I'm really reviving that in the same way that Rocky revived the Situation Room, which was John Ward, Rocky Stucci, and me back about the same number of years ago. We were doing this, and 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I think we ended it. And so just revival time going on here with old shows. So I hope you'll enjoy it. It'll be live every night and of the week, Monday through Friday. Weeknights. And we'll simulcast right here. And so just stay tuned. You'll hear more and more about it. And by the way, I'd like you to, if you get a chance, hit that like button down below. That only helps my stuff. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. And let's do this then. Let's kind of jump right into tarot. Tarot. See, I'm trying to say it. I haven't said it that way my whole life, and it just sounds wrong. Tarot. It's like I want to say tarot. And it bugs the hell out of me because I've always said tarot. And I think somebody said that to me 30 years ago, and I've always said it that way. So I was called highbrow for using tarot instead of tarot. And they were criticizing me. The person didn't even know me, as most critics do. Most critics who criticize you openly in public chats and internet and social media don't know a damn thing. So there you go. So maybe I shouldn't change it for them, huh? How about that? All right, folks. So what we're going to do tonight, let me get... you'd think I'd come prepared. Every week I say I got to have a pencil and paper. And then I come in here and I don't have a pencil and paper. I've got tons of pens here. Just got to find stuff to write on. So what I'd like to do is, if you'd like to get a reading, I've only really got... I'm going to try to cap it at around 10 to 12, somewhere in there. So if you'd like a reading, let me know, and I'll start to write them down here. There we go. I think I can write right here. What is that? Oh, okay. I'll write them down right here. So if you'd like to get one, Jerry would like one. So let's get you down. Jerry, you're going to be first. At least you're the first one I saw. And I also want to let you know, let's see, Lewis, you got one coming? I would like to let you guys know, if you go over now, between now and midnight Central, 3 hours, go over to my website, scottallenroberts.com. Go to the Tarot link, and there purchase the $45. Some people are still getting this wrong. Purchase the $45 reading, and you'll get the $85 reading. So purchase the 5-card reading. I'll give you the 10-card reading. But you got to sign up before midnight tonight, Central Standard Time. Let's see. We got, where did I leave off? I've got Lee and Amy and Roger. If those are your real names, that's fine. If they're not, I think it'll still work. I think the mysterious powers that be know who you are. So let's see. Amy, I had Roger. And let's see. Fix It, Fox. We'll just call you Fox because I like you that way. And Bruce, let's do you as well. 6, 7. And that's I got 7 of you right there. And S Hetrick. All right. And let's see. Anybody else right there? Okay, let's hold it off right there. Chris Jones, I'll put you on the list here. And we'll see how the evening goes. It should be all right. We usually on this for an hour and a half or so. We've got time. So all of you, we'll do this first list now. So stick around. And if you didn't make it the first time on this first bunch, I'll see if we can get you. And don't put it in there now because I'm not going to see it when we get way down the line here. So let's just go with this list that I've got on this crinkled up piece of paper that I just tore again. And we'll go from there. Let's just kind of jump right into it. I've been debating in my head all night. Should I do the 3 cards or should I do the 1 card? 1 card is very, very general. It just gives you an idea. 3 cards give you a little better idea, but each one of those takes a good solid 10 minutes, 15 minutes if I get long-winded. So, let me take a drink. Mountain Dew. Diet Mountain Dew. Wish they were a sponsor. Huh? It's not my favorite drink, but I didn't get a chance to make a cup of coffee before I came in here. And that's the next best thing. It's got caffeine in it. After a while, I drink a Diet Mountain Dew and I go, bleh. So, water would probably be the best, but that's not caffeinated. So, let's see. Just want to see if I'm missing any good comments here. Okay, let's try this, and maybe we can fit a bunch more readings in tonight. I know my friend Sarah Soderlund. Some of you may know her as Paranormal Sarah. We had her on the Situation Room, and I think that was one of the days that I couldn't be there, and so Rocky just talked with her. But she does 1 card readings all the time online, and they're very successful for people. And she does that weekly, sometimes a couple of times a week. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shuffle for this list that I have here. I'm going to shuffle 1 time. And this is a little experiment because I've never done just 1 card readings before. If I have, and you go, oh, yeah, you have. I remember you did that way back in 2008. I don't remember. So I'm going to shuffle the deck 1 time for everybody on this list. And we're going to pull 1 card at a time off. And what I'll do between each reading, I'll recut the deck and pull a new card so I don't have to go through this. And the only reason I do this is to clear. Some say it clears the energies off the cards. Some say it, I like to look at it and say it just simply rearranges the cards. And that whoever is giving the messages has the ability to stack the cards the way it needs to be stacked. All right. So now I've shuffled 3 times. And I'm going to cut this deck the way it feels right. And we'll take it from there. Robin Macadang Dang says, much favor to all. Thank you, Robin. let's see. I thought I had you on my list, and I don't see your name there. Did I call out your name and then not write you down, Robin? If I didn't, sorry. We'll put you first right at the end of all of this. So, Robin, just verify that for me. Did I take so much time making fun of your name that I didn't actually write your name down? So, yeah, Joyce, I'm stacking the cards. So, all right, you let me know, Robin. And if I missed you, if I said I was going to put you on the list and I didn't, we'll just squeeze you in right there. All right, here we go. Jerry Armitage, this one's for you. Card right off the top. All right. This is the 8 of Cups. Now, take a look at that, Jerry. Now, the 8 of Cups. Cups is the suit of your passions, the things that would hold your relationships, your romances, your perhaps dealing with lovers, and things of that nature. But it's not strictly limited to those things. It's where your passions are, your heart, your loves, your family, your relationships, things like that. These the cups rarely has to do with just a job or mundane things like that. So the cups have to do with those innermost passions. Now, passions can be brought into the workplace. It can be brought into the things that you give your heart to. But all this card is telling me right here, you see there's this guy, and he has in some of the older decks, it shows it's a guy, he's on the road, he's walking toward you. He's got his little kit bag over his shoulder on a stick, and he's kind of whistling a happy tune. So it's not a negative card at all. But the idea with this card is that he's walking away from something that has grown intolerable for him. This is something that it's saying you might have something that you need to make a decision about, that you need to walk away from, because the thing you need to walk away from is something that no longer serves you well. It's probably something you know about. I would say the way I do readings, most people, if it's on the mark, you're not going to have to struggle to wonder what I'm talking about. This is something that's going on in your life. Whatever the situation is, it involves the passion you pour into something. Could be a relationship that says it's worn out. It's done the best it'll ever do for you. And now it's time to turn your back on that and to leave it. Because what you're leaving has not only just grown out of use for you or service to you, it may have even grown intolerable to be there, to remain there. And by staying in that, whatever that situation is, all you are doing is you are increasing the likelihood that you're going to stagnate and not move anywhere. It's going to be bad for you. And by bad, I don't mean like, an anvil is going to fall on your head or something like that. Roger Rabbit made me think of that, by the way, seeing his name. So not something like that. I don't think it's a life or death thing. It's a stagnation thing. It's a being in the wrong place when you know you should be in a different place. This is a card that says it's time to incorporate that that confidence and that power that you possess to say, I'm done. I have to move on. And it doesn't mean be heartless about anything. It means move ahead. It means turn your back on what no longer serves you and move forward and leave. Now, where he's going doesn't show. Not going to a bad place. He just has to leave the old place. So it's wide open where you go from there. There you go. There's your one card. How was that, Jerry? Hope that hit the mark for you. So, and folks, I'll call for more names, because if you come in and you didn't hear the beginning of this, hold off asking to be next, or if you want to get on the list, because I may miss it. I did see you, Anonymous X. I missed that. So if you get a chance when we get up there, if you're still in the room, I'll call for a show of hands again when we get to the end of this list that I've got compiled. That just helps me. Then I don't have to go back and try to scroll through all the comments to try to find who said, hey, me next. So if you're here, we'll hit you up. As a matter of fact, I'll know to look for you now. So let's see. Ready, Barbara. I'm just looking to see some comments here. Let's see. Oh, and Jerry. If you're still around, wow, spot on, Jerry says. Okay, that's good to know. Now, keep in mind, when I'm doing a one-card reading, cards tend to play off of each other. When you lay down one card, you're getting a general look at what's going on. Without giving anything away, I did a reading for someone this afternoon, and every single card played off of the same theme and kept repeating over and over again. So as I'd start the reading, I'd have a card like I just read for you, and then the next one, and the next one, and that kept building on the whole theme. And everything amplifies and modifies each other. So when you get a full reading like that, a 10-card or 11-card reading, I usually throw another one down at the end. That really clarifies what's going on. A single card reading gives you an idea, gives you a hint. It's vague, and the message is vague. So hopefully that was specific enough to give you something to go by. And so by shuffling only one time, and I'm going to cut the deck now, I'm eliminating practically the card I just read from anybody else because it's already on the bottom of the deck. So, which is where I've traditionally for 30 years put the cards when I'm done reading them. I put them on the bottom of the deck if I'm going to shuffle up again. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to move on to Lewis, and I am going to just cut this deck for you. Lewis, if you were here, I'd have you cut the deck. So I'm going to do this for you right now. And that actually puts that 8 of cups right back into the middle somewhere. It was on the bottom. So it'll keep getting shuffled around. Lewis, here you go. Here's your card. All right. 5 of cups. Now, cups again, everything I just said about passions and all of that all comes into play with this card. And what you see is a guy that's dressed like a judge. He's got the 5 cups, 3 of them tipped over. Now, what this card means, passions. It's those things that you are matters of the heart. And the basic message of this card right on its surface is really easy. Here, take a look at this again. That card with the 2 cups and then the 3 cups dumped over. This is a card that says you might be fixating a little too much on what was lost and losing sight of what you still have. This is a card that says don't grieve over the 3 spilled cups more than you're celebrating over. Here, look at that up close. Can you see the 2 cups there? I don't know how well you can see these cards on your screen, but there you go. So this message is saying take the concerted effort to not get stuck in the past. This is a place where a lot of us get stuck. And this is saying you might find yourself there right now. You might find yourself in a position where you're looking at what was dumped over. The wine that was dumped over, the wine lost, the wine staining the carpet, the wine that's no longer drinkable, metaphorically speaking. And you've lost something because of it. And it's a process of grieving or a process of maybe just being fixated on the thing that was lost. And in the meanwhile, you're forgetting you've got the 2 other cups over here that are still full. So this is really a message to say you've got a lot to still celebrate. even though life brings cups that dump over. And I don't know what your particular experience is, but because these are the cups, it has to do with those passions of your heart again. The things that you invest your love, your romance, your time, your relationships, all of those things, something's been lost somewhere along the way here. That is still, it may not have even been something recent. It might be something from a long time ago. Because what the card is focusing on is you focusing on the thing that's lost and letting that distract you from the thing you have. And too many times we all live our lives that way. And so this is saying, don't do that. Use the power and energy you have to say, that's in the past. It's something I can't change. I can refill those cups. It's not going to be the same wine, but it's going to be the cups tipped up again. You have the ability to move forward and to refill those cups and to celebrate the 2 you have, but you'll never get the 3 that are gone back again. And so don't fixate on that. Don't let that drive you. Be driven by what you have. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense for anything that's going on in your life right now, too. So there you go, Lewis. If it doesn't, you can tell me that, too. It would be good to know. So there you have it. And see, we can move along at a nice clip when I do just one card. But yeah, we'll just see how it all goes here tonight. So makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Well, I'm glad, Lewis. Thanks. I hope that meant something for you and it works for you. Let me turn this off over here on the side. Sorry about it. I think even my closest friend, that's Professor Bauer, talking to me. He's texting me, and I think he forgets I'm doing a show at 9:00. So had to turn that all off. All right. Spill the wine, take the girls, says Iowa X. So stay away from bang. So there you go. All right. Now, let me cut the cards here for Lee. Lee, front and center. And here we go. All right. If I can pick these up, it'll be a ruling night here. They get stuck on my desk. All right. Here we go, Lee. You ready? I can get that picked up. All right. This is a card we've seen in some of these readings before. It is the 6 of Wands. Now, wands are the suit of your, as opposed to passions, which is the cups. Wands is the suit of your emotions. It's all the stuff you bring to the table, the things that drive you in life, your heart. Now, when I say that, let me not confuse it. Emotions and passions are sometimes intermixed, but they're different things, especially when it comes to the tarot. Your passions are the matters of heart that drive you in relationship, love, interest, things like that. Emotions are the things that are the fire, the zeal, the excitement of life. That stuff that makes you go, that stuff that makes you look in the mirror in the morning and go, yeah, baby, I am on fire. I've got excitement for my life, excitement for my job, my life, my family, my whoever, whatever. All right. And it talks about the excitement and exuberance of youth. It's bringing that fire and that zeal to the forefront and making things happen. Now, in this card, you can see that you've got a bunch of guys. They're actually warriors who have ridden into battle. They're flying the banner. They've got the laurel wreath right in there. Right there. They've got the laurel wreath, saying they've won the day. And they've come out of a victory and they've won. So this is and they're ready to celebrate. But the idea is you've got good reason to celebrate. You've won something, Lee. You've got something that's going in your favor. On that level, that is something that appeals to your emotional makeup, the stuff that makes you go, that lights the fire under you. And Yet the celebration is one of, you've dismounted to celebrate, get back up onto the horse, celebrate from horseback, because you're riding right into the next battle of the war. So while you can take the accolades, have the laurel wreath, so to speak, you haven't won the war. You've just won the battle. And you're going to ride around the next bend, and more's coming, is the idea. Doesn't say it's devastating, doesn't even give a judgment call on what's coming. It's just a card that says, celebrate modestly, because you've got more to do. The work isn't over. The job isn't done. It's kind of like getting a promotion at work, kind of a thing. Wow, celebrate to the hilt. You've made a huge victory. So celebrate that. But you got to go back to work on Monday and take up the new reins for your new position, your promotion. And so there's a lot of work yet to do. So that in a positive vein, there's more coming. It could also be something, while the card doesn't really indicate anything negative, it's something that says be prepared for the negative, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's coming yet. So prepare yourself. Always be prepared. Celebrate your victories, but be prepared, because something more is coming. Now, there you go. Hope that makes sense for you. That was for Lee. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I got the right one. And I like to, in my own mind, I like to have a good idea of who I'm talking to. Here's something I want to tell you, folks. It's not that if there is somebody who is actually delivering messages through these cards, be it God. I always say it's God. It's your spirit guides. It's your angels. It's your that's the way I used to introduce this. It could be the universe. Somebody out there has got a message for you. I don't know who that is really. You can call it God if you're comfortable with that. You can call it spirit guides if you're comfortable with that. But these are messages being delivered to you by somebody. And so what you've got to do, I think, is take that message and apply it. See if it works for you. If it doesn't, and for some reason I've misinterpreted the card, you can let me know that. If it works, it's because somebody's telling you something. And even when you get a negative card or something that says be prepared for disaster or something like that, the beautiful thing that you can take to the bank is that somebody's telling you that. Somebody knows something about you, and they're trying to pass that on to you. So our higher selves, maybe, Roger. So hopefully that one worked for you. All right. Let's see. I'm going to take a look here and see if there's any comments I need to take note of as we're moving on. Let's see. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. And folks, if you're new coming in tonight, when I'm done with this first batch, then I'll ask you to come up and ask for another card, because I can't always go back and find everybody. I'm going to miss somebody. So I'll just put out a call. I'll go, okay, now everybody and we'll go forward from there. So let's see. There you go. Hey, is Rainey here? Hey, Rainey. You're looking hot tonight. Yowza. See, I can say that. That's my wife. So nice to have you here, baby. And shut up, she tells me. You got to do that with a hashtag. Hashtag shut up. So, Lee, I didn't see if that worked for you or not. I hope that was a good one for you. So here we go. We're going to move on. I've got Roger Rabbit next. Here we go, Roger. I'm going to cut these cards for you. And one just kind of fell off the deck, so I'm going to go with that one. I figure there's a reason when that happens. So we're going to use that card. All right. This one's for Roger. Here we go. Roger, you're the Emperor tonight. See that card? This is in the Major Arcana. So this is not one of the 4 suits in the deck. The Major Arcana is kind of these higher power cards, if you will. They're like the messages, the more esoteric messages of the deck. And this card, the Emperor, represents this kind of highest form of being on the top of the heap, head of state, exemplary, powerful, all of these things. It's about well-being. It's about happiness. And this is a card that says you're in a time right now. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know how this is going to apply to you, but you have the necessary abilities to be the final authority. And this is saying get in touch with all those things in your inner self that tell you or that you know are giving you power. It's giving you confidence. It's giving you the ability to make decisions. As you see here, he's all in his royal finery. It's this idea of nobility, leadership, all these natural qualities, these innate things that are going to help you manage whatever's going on in your current situation. And the Emperor, I always used to say this about the Emperor, is that he is somebody who, he's the person who has to rule the empire. And the Emperor sometimes has to make decisions that are for the good of the empire, but maybe not necessarily for the good of everybody around him. In other words, you're the Emperor and you have to go into battle with your enemies. You have to call up all of your warriors, your soldiers, to go fight for your country, your empire. Some of those people are going to die. So you can say, I'm doing this for the greater good of the empire or the country or whatever, or my family or my whatever you're involved with. But in so doing, somebody's going to lose their life along the way. Now, I only say that by illustration, not saying anybody's dying in your immediate surroundings. I don't know that. This doesn't say that. This just says you need to be in a position now where you pull yourself up from those inner royal bootstraps. You have to take on the confidence, the air, the leadership quality, the diplomacy, the ability to make decisions for the greater good is what you are about right now. So I don't know what your situation is, but right now it's saying not only are you the Emperor, so you can be the Emperor and not have the qualities of the Emperor. So it's doing 2 things here. Telling you you're the Emperor in your situation right now, and at the same time, you need to call up, if you're not already, all those qualities that make you the Emperor. All the things that make you the good Emperor. To get things done the way they're supposed to be done. So there you go. This is who you are. This is where you're at right now. You're the Emperor, and hope that is spot on for you as well. All right. Be the Emperor. Okay. Point on. Wow. This is so perfect right now. Someone actually passed away tonight, and you're the one holding everything together for your family and your close friends. Brother, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is telling you, be the Emperor. You're the one with the leadership skills. You're the one that can do this and hold it together for everybody, for the greater good of everybody. There you go. Sorry for your loss, too, by the way. All right, let's move on. Amy, I've got you up next. Here we go. I'm so glad my wife is here. She never gets to really tune in because the kids usually pull her away and have her so distracted when I do these shows. Sometimes she gets to watch, but very rare occasions. So it's so nice to have her in here. Thank you, Roger. All right. I'm going to cut this now for Amy. Amy, if you were here, I'd have you take the deck and I'd have you cut it. But since you're not, I'm doing it on your behalf. There is something about this, picking this up tonight off of this table. This is my art table, as you all know. I've mentioned it before. And I bought this used. It's an old wooden table. And here, look, you can kind of see the old surface. And this is what I'm working with right here. And it had they put a coating on it of some kind to make things stick to the table. And I think the idea was so that their artwork wouldn't slide when they were drawing. And sometimes my cards just get stuck to it. So there we go. All right. Jeannie, every time, welcome, by the way, Jeannie. And every time I see your name, I remember, I think you sent me an email, and we've got to line up a time for your reading. And so let me dig for that email and get back to you. Sorry, I haven't yet. Just reminded by seeing your name. So there you go. All right. And Barbara, if I didn't say hi, nice to see you. All right. Amy, we already cut the deck for you, so let's draw a card for you. All right. You have the Four of Coins. All right. Now, the Four of Coins, in a word, the basic meaning of this card. Now, coins has to do with your material well-being, has to do with your money, it has to do with your job, has to do with the nuts and bolts of life. And the Four of Coins, I don't get all the symbology in this newer deck. I don't know why they have the coin over her head and the one in her hand. I don't know why her ring finger is sticking out. I learned tarot on a different deck, but I love this deck overall. But I know what this card means. The card, simply stated, stands for inheritance, receiving inheritance. Now, if you're not receiving an inheritance, you can look for other application. This is something where you are, one of the ways to look at this is if somebody hasn't died to give you an inheritance or left you something, this could be something where you are running into a little bit of a windfall. It's either something you have earned, it's something that's being given to you, you've been bequeathed to you. It's something where if it's not physical money, it's the nuts and bolts of your material well-being is somehow being increased, and you are going to profit from this. It could be a job promotion. It could be something of that nature, that intangible, right up front. If you get a job promotion, by the end of the year, you're going to make X number more dollars, but you're not going to feel that immediately in the first day. This is something that's saying something's going on that's increasing you. And generally, when you see this card, it stands for inheritance. It stands for a windfall, winning something, being given something, earning something. And if it's not, again, I'll repeat, if it's not physical wealth where you're seeing a check or coins being dropped in your lap, it might have something to do with simply an increase in your material well-being. Now, there's more to this card than this, too. This is also the card that warns you against being the miser. You're going to get some kind of a windfall, it says, but don't squirrel it away in a coffee can and bury it in your yard. It doesn't do anything for you there. And I'm speaking metaphorically here, by the way, and it says once you have that, you're going to be put in a position where you can help others. And the miser doesn't do that. The miser stashes it for whenever. This is saying be a little more open with your funds. Be whatever's going on, whatever this increase is, it's either for you, it's for you and your family, it's for those around you. The onus is on you to make that grow, and the onus is on you to not stash it away so it doesn't work for you. So this is all about responsibility and financial responsibility as well with what you're getting. And by the way, a windfall, that could be $5 million. A windfall could be $50. Oh, I just won the scratch off at the local 7-Eleven. And you've got a little windfall. And so the idea with the card too is don't spend it all in one place, but don't be a miser and squirrel it away either. So, any of that make any sense for you? I hope it does. This is all about your material well-being. Something's going on in your material life that is giving you a little better position to be in for some reason. Something to take care of because it's a bit of an increase. And if I'm way off the mark on that, blame it on the card. So, Lee, thank you. I hope that worked for you. And I appreciate your being here. So, you're welcome. So, let's see. Amy says, my first reading ever and spot on. Good to know. Okay. Amy, after Amy, we've got. Did I do Roger already? No, I don't think I did. Or did I? Oh, wait, that wasn't Lee. I mixed up looking at my notes here. Let's see. Lee, I had you. I think that was Amy. Amy, that was your card, not Lee. I was looking at my handwriting there and I jumped up a name. So that was you. I hope that helped. I hope it was, it says spot on. Good to know. Good to know. Now let's move on to Roger. So, Leslie, I'll do some reading. I'm not going to take a new list of names. I've said it a couple of times here. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning, let me get through this list, and then I will go ahead and make a new list for the next set of readings. Because if I go back and I start trying to look down or I write down, I'm not always going to see this thing. So just kind of the rules of the house. Let's wait till I'm done with this first batch, and then I'll call for more people who want to come in, and we'll put you on the list. All right. So Roger, here we go. This one's for you. Oh, I've done Roger. A high-ranking card. I did Fox. Who was the last reading I just did? Did I just mix up my list? I've done Jerry. I've done Lewis. I've done Lee. I've done Amy. I've done Roger. Was Roger the last one I did just now? Roger, was that for you? You were the Emperor. So that was for Fox. I had the totally wrong. You know what I'm going to do? Because I screwed up, I'm going to start with Fox right now because Fox, I don't think I did you. So I am going to reshuffle the deck because I screwed something up. That may have been the message for you, and I read it for somebody else because I looked at the wrong place on my list. So I want to be sure. So I'm going to reshuffle, and Fox, that was for you. I'm going to do a whole new card for Fox. All right. And then I said it was Amy, but Amy was way back up the list. So I don't know. I screwed something up, and it maybe have turned out all right. So day energy and what's coming down from the sun is full on at the moment, says Amanda. It's nighttime here. It's tomorrow there. So you got sunshine, Amanda. Welcome, by the way. All right. Yeah, Randy tells me to cross off the list. I know. I try to avoid doing all this handwriting and going back and forth and looking for names and stuff like that. I thought I was on top of it. So sorry, guys. All right. Let's see. So, Fox, this is for you. Here we go. Because I don't think I did Fox. And maybe I did Fox with the last card and thought it was at Amy. So, my apologies, folks. User error. So, hopefully, that got to the right person and the message was right. So, here we go. King of Cups. Fox, this is for you. King of Cups. Now, King of Cups, I want you to take a look at this guy. Gregarious. Somebody who knows who he is. He's the king. He's like on top of his game. Cups. That's that whole thing of your passions again. And Fox, this is for you. And usually when you see a king or a queen, a face card, that king or queen stands for you. The face cards stand for actual people that are either you or they are somebody you know, somebody that's influencing your situation. And the idea with this card is that The man in this card doesn't need to speak to communicate passion, to communicate strength, or commitment or anything like that because of who he is. He doesn't even need to speak it. He has the bearing, the presence. His whole life says, this is who I am. This is an idea that's closely examine your conscience. Bring your personal mission into alignment with what you know to be the best for everyone around you. To go into your situation with integrity, the ability, the ability to speak wisdom. You're providing a leadership for somebody, and the idea with this card is that you're the king of your passions. You're the king of those things inside you that are meant for relationship, meant for love, meant for sharing your passion with other people. And I'm building up to something because there's a definite meaning behind this card that I've read many, 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 many times over the years. This is either you or, as I said, a male in your life, like a husband, a father, and Fox, I don't know if you're male or female. So I'm just going off what I know the card to mean. It's a husband, it's a brother, an uncle, a grandfather, a boss, somebody that's close to you that has influence on you, somebody of great strength. And the idea with this is that this is a man who he's holding the cup, and he has buried, I was going to say the word issues, but that makes it sound very negative. It's not that. It's buried passions, things that have been hurt in the past. This is a person who, it could very well be you. I don't know you, so I don't know if this is you or somebody near you. This is somebody who has been hurt deeply in their past, and it's buried. And there's a truth that needs to be uncovered. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's like being with somebody who is your partner or your mate, and they have deep set, old, sometimes forgotten griefs or passions or abuses or something like that. So much so that they can be damaging to your current relationship. This is either somebody else or this is you. And the uncovering of that ancient thing in your life is the thing that reveals the truth about who you are and where you are and cracks it all open. So this king, be it you or somebody else, I see Amanda just said DNA secrets. So there you go. It's been told we'd find the truth for them. Yeah. So this is something that for you, this king, is somebody who needs to bring something out into the open. I'm not saying promulgate it around, not publish it on social media or anything like that, but somebody who has something so buried that they haven't been able to express it. And by the lack of expression, I've seen people in these situations before. I used to work with men's ministries long time ago. And women would tell me, he just won't tell me how he feels. And I've had it. I'm done. I can't live with this person anymore. I can't be with them anymore because they will never open up to me. And this is the product usually of deeper pains, deeper things that have gone wrong. So this is one that says you have that ability to be the king of the passions, the king of what's there, the leader, and all of these great things like we heard about the emperor earlier. But this card also brings with it something, a truth that needs to be brought into the open because it's buried. And because it's buried, it could be causing damage in your current. So either you have to do this for yourself, or it's somebody around you that needs your help to reveal that. And these are always delicate matters. And so, not to reveal anything about you or your past, because I don't know what this is, but take a look. If this is you, take an inner look, it says, and see what's there and see what you need to uncover, because it could hinder you from being the best person that you could be. And it can sometimes hinder your role as the leader, or somebody who has the ability to be confident in their leadership skills. And it certainly might have anything to do, if this is somebody else in your life, you're going to see it. You're going to know, you're going to go, the lights just come on. So uncover those buried truths, those buried secrets, and bring them out and find ways to heal them. All right. And so, Fox, I hope that makes sense for you. That's a tougher message, but there it is. And that's either you or somebody around you. So, and you'll know who this is right off the bat if it's not you. And if it's you, you're going to know that too. Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm going to move on. I hope that has meaning for you. I'm going to move on to Bruce Haley. Let's go. Let's roll. There we go. I'm going to cut the cards for you, Bruce. If you were here, I'd have you do it, but I'm doing it for you. All right, here we go. All right. Bruce, Four of Wands. Remember what I said about the wands? That the wands are the suit of your emotions. It's the suit of the things that you bring to the table. It's the suit of your drive. So it's your drive. It's your drive for your family, your drive for your work, your drive. And I don't mean your car. I mean, of course, the drive, the excitement, the exuberance. So all of these things that are part of who you are, what make you up and makes you who you are. And this is and also, by the way, the wands is also the suit of risk taking, which includes entrepreneurship, things like that, stepping out on the limb and doing what you need to have done. And this is a teamwork card, the Four of Wands. It's usually shown by two couples who've come together to create something profitable, something enduring. And you can see on this card, in the background there's a little bit of dancing going on beneath the garlands and things like that. They represent founding families, future community, all that kind of la-la stuff. That is the stuff of putting things together. It's grand vision. It's people of ambition and talent and attraction that are trying to fulfill some kind of potential. And the idea with this card is that this is supporting your good, productive, evolutionary ideas. And you need to concentrate on networking, using your charisma, your power to attract like-minded people. Your enthusiasm empowers your vision, which is thriving with utter possibilities. It's creativity. It's creating. And as you share more freely what's on your mind and heart, oh, sorry, I'm not even talking into my mic. I hope that's picking up. I'm leaning forward like this. So hopefully you heard all of that and my mic wasn't too dead. But the idea with this is you have the ability to make your abilities noticeable, to make them shine, to impress the right people, to start the right thing, to partner with the right partner. But also with the Four of Cups is this idea that you need to, you're on your way to making something successful happen, but you're only halfway up. I used to use this for this card. I would use this illustration. The illustration is you're climbing a mountain with a group and you've reached the halfway point. It's kind of like not the base camp, but now you're halfway up. And there's a camp where you're going to pitch a tent for the night. And the next morning, you're going to assault the rest of the mountain and make it to the summit. But you can celebrate and all of that. But like that Six of Wands, which comes 2 cards after this in the deck, it's that idea of you're on your way there, celebrate, but remember in the morning you gotta hit the rest of the mountain. So it's the idea of you're not there yet, but you're working to get there, and you're working to make your way there. And so you've got all this potential, and it's on you to enact this, to actualize it, to make it work. So I don't know what your situation is, but something that you apply your emotions to, the things that make you get out of bed and look in the mirror and go, God damn, I am ready for this today. That's the thing, that excitement, that zeal that this is addressing. And it's saying you have the entrepreneurial verve, got to find the right partners. You're on your way up. You just got to remember you're celebrating because some things are going well for you, but you got more to do to get there. You haven't made it yet, but this is incorporating everything you know, all of your emotions to make these things happen. There you go. All right. So there you go, Bruce. That's you. I hope that makes sense. Don't know what you're all about, what you got going in life. This could tend to be more for, these are the things you incorporate your emotions into. Is what it's all about. All right. So I see lots of talk about tarot going on here. That's good. Everybody, if you've got any ideas, if you read tarot and you want to throw in ideas, certainly more than welcome to do that here. Millionaires don't believe in tarot, but billionaires do. There you go, Bruce. That's it. Perfect. Perfectly well said. So, Roger, ask me in a couple of minutes here. When I get through, I'm going to compile a new list so I don't have to stop. And for those of you who weren't here earlier, I took a list and we've got 2 more people on that list. Then we'll talk a little bit, and then I'm going to ask for people to line up and give me some new names. Otherwise, I can't always dig them out if I don't see them happen live. So I've got a couple of you, and I already said, yeah, I'll try to get to you in the next list. I can't even remember who that was already. So we'll come back and we'll make a new list when I'm done here. But we'll try to get to you, Roger, and your wife. So along with a couple of other people. So everybody hang on. When we get there, we'll ask. And so, Bruce, that was yours. S. Hetrick, Hetrick. Now, Janice, I'm not sure what that was. Oh, it's hidden. I can see it, but nobody else can. Looks like your cat stepped on your computer keys or something. All right. It's held for review, it says. It's not too naughty. So, Hetrick, I'm not sure if you're a man or woman. Doesn't matter. And like I say, when I do full readings for people, I don't want to know what's on your mind. Anybody. I don't even need to know who you are. Because I'm not originating the message. I'm facilitating it. I'm delivering the message. Somebody else is giving you the message. And if they can give you the message, they certainly aren't too hindered by internet, phone, not knowing your name, me not knowing your name, doesn't matter. So things like that. So let's cut the cards for you, S. Hetrick, and then we will take it from there. All right, here we go. You're the 10 of coins. This is probably one of the nicest cards of prosperity to get, other than being the king of coins. And so this is a card that speaks to your financial well-being, your material well-being. Let's put it that way. Because while the coins represent your finances and your material things, doesn't always necessarily mean it has anything to do with your money, your physical money. It could be to do with the nuts and the bolts of your material well-being to get you moving, to get you. That's the wrong way I want to say that. It could be about the material things that are getting your material things in line, not moving. It could have to do with money, particularly, but it might just be to do with your well-being. You'll know that better than I will. But this card almost tends to say money, family, job. You've kind of reached the 10 of the deck. And that's as high as you can go before you get into the royal face cards. And that's really something is you kind of got your shit together and things are working on your behalf. And so if you look at this guy, look at the picture and the imagery here. This guy, it looks like he's got kids or somebody back there. That's supposed to represent the people that are relying on him or that he takes care of. And this is something that says, think of yourself as somebody who can be of great benefit to other people and the people around you. And no matter whether it be the service idea or an invention of an idea or incorporating an idea, you know you're holding the value. And your potential treasure, if you will, is to take enough care of you and yours for a long time. And the idea is just, how are you going to administer this? See, the guy's writing here. He's trying to figure out, or at least planning his work, working his plan. The whole idea of this is every act of spending, earning, investing, securing, sowing the seed that's going to sprout and produce another money tree in somebody else's yard. How can you really get clever and inventive at throwing the seeds? This is your next assignment, is the idea here. So you have really kind of reached a good place, is what this card is saying. And it's something where it's so much so that you're taking care of others. You're finding way to help in their futures. It would be like, I don't know, having a college fund for your kids kind of thing. And that's just a quick example that comes to my head. So the idea with this card is that you've kind of leveled off to a place that all of your financial life up to this point, your material things are culminating in having worked for you. And now it's your job to manage that well so it works for you and for those around you, who you protect, who you put your arms around. So that's what this card is. Now, I don't know how that plays out in your life, but S. Hetrick, this is saying you're in a pretty good place right now. And if there's any reason you're not in a good place, I don't know why you would get this card if you're not. But it could be something, whenever you're earning money and making money and so on, what's the old saying? What did they ask a Rockefeller or somebody like that? How much money do you need to be happy? And he said, just a little bit more. So this could be something where you're working towards something and you've got all the abilities of this guy to make that happen for you. And so you have to incorporate the wisdom and the skill of this person to make that happen. And so there you go. So this is either happening for you or you need to incorporate these skills to make that happen for you. You're on your way. I don't think this card would show up if it was a nothing thing for you. So there you go. Hope that is accurate for you. Hope it helps. There you go. Oh, the dog. I think the dog just. This is a weird deck. It's kind of funny. I've grown so used to this deck because I've been using it for over 10 years. But the imagery is so different from some of the other decks I have. I've got like the Golden Tarot, which is one that I always used to use, and I like the imagery. I've used the straight Rider Waite deck which is the old traditional deck. And the imagery is just pretty straightforward there. This one, she uses old paintings, and I think the idea with this, if you see here, there's the tree planted, the money tree back behind the dog. I think the dog is all part of just showing the prosperity, the being able to sit back and say things are comfortable. Look at the women in the background, wife, daughters, relatives. They seem to be, pretty happy. They don't seem to be too stressed out. There's the dog. Guy's writing in his ledger. He's got the money tree going. All of this stuff is stuff that is showing that bit of prosperity. The idea of the dog. I got my dog. My dog is even benefiting. It's like having the family. The whole family is there. And the dog, I think it used to be, dogs ran the streets. And it was a relatively, to have the dog in the house and in the garden, he's well bathed and well fed and well taken care of, just adds to that air of things being, the shits come together and you're doing all right. So I think that's the presence of the dog. I'm going to look into that more and see if there's more symbolism to it than that. That's always been my take. Now, I've seen dogs in some of the cards, like the 10 of swords or the 9 of swords. The swords are hanging over your head. The guy wakes up at night. The black dog is there, barking at the foot of his bed. And that dog it's like the dog is there too. He's waiting for you to die. He's waiting to lurch and so on. So their dogs mean different things. So, S. Hetrick, thank you. It's a dang good conduit. Thank you. You're welcome. Hope that all meant something for you. All right. I've got one more person, and then we're going to talk a little bit, and we'll get into making a new list for the second half of tonight. So here we go. Chris Jones, aloha. Chris, let's read you. Aloha. Aloha. I don't know if that's the real word. That's how it always sounds when I hear it. Do you know the one time I heard that song that sticks the most in my mind, Chris? That Hawaiian song. I don't even know what it's called. Is it Aloha something? That is Gilligan's Island. I kid you not. When I was a kid, I used to watch Gilligan's Island in reruns, and it came out in the 60s, and I'm a kid of the 60s. Didn't grow up till in the 70s. I was a teenager, but I used to watch reruns of that. And there was a scene where Elvis sings it, hello, hello, they found a boat and a way to get off the island. And then they uncover some plot. I don't remember the storyline, but they're all in danger. So they make these dummies of themselves and dress them in. Of course, because they were on a 5-hour tour, they all have extra clothes, changes of clothes, and they dress them all up and they put them all out on the boat at night, and they push them out into the lagoon, and they're playing this song. They're singing "Aloha," and so on, and then it blows up, and they find out the plot's been uncovered. So that's what that always reminds me of. Don't know why, ingrained in my head. So here we go, Chris. Oh, Bruce, good. I'm glad to hear that. That there's lots of confirmation. Very good to know. All right, Chris, your card is... You got the 10 of swords. We just mentioned this card. Here you go, Chris. I want you to take a good, long, hard look at that. This is a card that it's probably one of the bleaker cards in the deck, but it is also a card with great promise. This is a card of chapters ending. Flipping the page and coming to the end of the chapter, and there's nothing on the next chapter other than a header, next chapter. The idea with this card, and I was just talking about the 9 of swords has the swords hanging over the head with the dog. The black dog is also here. I used to say of this card, you got the 10 swords protruding out of your back and side. You're laying on the road for dead. and the dog is there waiting for you to die to lap up the blood, is the idea, as gross as that sounds. But the idea here is that you're not dead. I always like to bring up, if you saw The Princess Bride, Miracle Max, Billy Crystal character, he's not dead, he's almost dead. And he's almost dead. So this is the idea with this card. You're not dead, you're almost dead. And it's of course not literal. It's not saying you're dying at the moment. And if you are, that's not what this card is about. This card is about the end of a chapter. It's the end of something. Swords is the suit of conflict. It's conflict you give, conflict you get. It's also the core. It's the suit of cutting. It's discernment. It's dividing wisdom from the opposite of wisdom. I was trying to think of the word, and it's not coming. The appropriate word isn't coming to me. It's cutting things apart, and that includes conflict. And the idea with this card is that this guy in the card has been left for dead, figuratively speaking. And what it really means, it's the end of a chapter. It's something has been brought to a bitter end. A conflict has ended, or the conflict has ended something in you. And the whole idea is that you're left on the road, and you can crawl off the road, pull the swords out, get healed up from whatever this thing is, but you pull 10 swords out of your back, you're always going to have scars and marks that are left. So the idea with this is that while there's been a painful process that you have had to go through, you have to incorporate what you have to create the next chapter. Because some conflict, something very cutting, has left you for dead, figuratively, metaphorically speaking. And so you have to write the new chapter. It's, I see, who just said here? Jim Kincaid said, cut your losses, move on. It's time to move on because you're not going back the way you came. And so the beauty of a tragic card like this is that you have the ability to move on. You have the ability to write the new chapter, the ability to heal, and the wounds are always going to be there. You're always going to see the marks of the wounds, and it's going to be a reminder for you of how to learn from those mistakes, or learn from those errors, or learn from those deeds that were done to you, how to avoid those things in the future. It may not always be error that you have made. Sometimes being attacked and stabbed with a sword isn't because you did something wrong. So the idea here is that the recovery, as soon as you see this card and get this and you realize this, the recovery is already in sight, is the idea. It's already something you're spiraling out of, or cycling out of, I meant to say, not spiral. You're cycling out of this, and it's going to leave its mark, but let it do its work. And this is like that James passage from the book of James that I read the other night in the New Testament. It talks about when you face various trials, this forces your faith, it forces your real life out into the open to show its true colors. And don't ask to be let out of it early, but let it do its work, that you can become perfected, and a better person in the outrun. So the idea with this is that this is probably something you recognize right away. It's already happened. Or it's prepping you for something that's right on top of you that you don't even know about yet. But you've closed a chapter, or you need to recognize that that chapter is closed and move on to the new. And you have this beautiful ability to have learned from all that's happening to write that new chapter and become somebody totally new because of it. All right? Hope that means something to you. And I hope that has meaning for you. And that was for Chris Jones. So there you go, brother. Aloha. And so here's what we're going to do. Those were that's the first bunch I had. It's already 10:20. I'm going to take a few more of you. Let's see if we can get 5 more. I know we had Anonymous. I think you were going to come in. Anon X. I know we had Roger Rabbit's wife. Throw it Carly. All right. Let's put Carly on the list. Anybody else here who wanted to get on this list? So Tanya is your name. Anon X Tanya. All right. Barbara says Leslie is asking for Barbara. Barbara D. Let me write that in here. And let's see. Sue says, please pick Jim, Scotty. Okay, we'll put down Jim. There you go. Let's see. Alejandros. Do you pronounce it Alejandros or Alexandros? So I'm going to put down Alex. There you go. And Joyce, let's get you on the list. I think that's almost all I can do for tonight. We're going to go past 11 o'clock. So I've got Anonymous X, which is Tanya, Carly, Barbara D, Jim, Alexandros, and Joyce. There you go. Hope that works for you. Here we go. And stick around if you want to stick around. And folks, I want to let you know, too, if you would like to get a full reading and see what this is like when we put the whole spread out, I ask $45 for a 5-card read. I ask $85 for a 10-card read. And that 10 card is a Celtic Cross spread. Tonight until midnight, which is now an hour and 40 minutes away, Central Time. So do the math in your head wherever you are in the country. You go over and there's a PayPal link on my site. You purchase the $45 reading. You will get the 10 card, the $85 reading for that if you purchase that before midnight tonight. And I'll just put the link over here so you can see it. It's over on my main website, and I'm going to put the link to the page itself. There's not much on this page other than a header and the PayPal links. So there you go. Go there, sign up for the 45 card reading. And all you do is you just go into PayPal, you make your payment, and leave your information for me so I can contact you, or you'll get my information off my website. It's all right there, how to get a hold of me. And we'll get a hold of each other. And if you buy the 5-card reading, you get the 10-card reading. So it's a $40 savings special, if you will. And you almost hate talking about that, and tonight Jesus can come into your heart. But we usually offer Jesus for $45 and Jesus and the Holy Spirit for $85. But tonight, if you just pay for Jesus at $45, we'll give you Jesus and the Holy Spirit at the price of just Jesus. I hope it doesn't come across that way for you guys. And like I say, I'm not charging you for the message. I'm charging you for my time and the 35 plus years I've put into this. So there you go. All right. So if you want to get a full reading, they last about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I said they were an hour and 15 minutes to hour and a half, and I've done several of them over the last couple of weeks, and they're taking me a little bit over an hour, it seems, and we can get through it and give you a lot of time and a lot of effort. And you can see by the cards we've been reading tonight, imagine if you had 9 other cards modifying that. And in a 10-card spread, you have the card of your situation, the card of the obstacles that cross you, the card of the foundation to the matter, the card of the aspirations, the best that can come of the situation, the card of the near past, the card of the near future, the card of you, yourself, what's going on in you, the card of all the friends and family you have that are influencing your life in the situation, the card of your hopes and dreams and the outcomes of what the outcome will be and then the outcome itself. And then many times I'll throw down another card or two just for clarity at the very end. And when you start putting all those together in that spread, you can see what one card can do. Imagine you've got 10, 11, 12 cards that are giving you information. So there you go. That's why we do it. So now let's move on. Rainey, look at him giggling. Uh-oh, what did I say? I must have said something. Rainey said I have issues. Oh, the whole Jesus thing? Yeah. She knows. This is life here. Rainey, you should come back here and say hi to everybody. I think that would be very good for me. Do it before I start my next reading. Where are you? Are you upstairs or are you out in the living room? Come on in here and say hi. My lovely wife. And if she says no, she says no. Otherwise, she'll come in and say hello. All right. Oh, there she is. She swung open the door. It was like something out of The Quiet Man. She swung open the door. Here's my lovely wife, Rainey. Nice to have you.
Hi.
There she is. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
So, hey.
Hi.
Hey, Captain Dan. So there you go. Nice
Yeah.
to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's 11:30. It's 10:30. I gotta get the kids to bed.
I will tell you, this is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you. Scram.
Have fun.
Bye. Thanks for coming in.
I'm going to bed now, so I won't be watching it.
All right. She's going to bed, so she's not going to watch anymore. So now I can really cut loose. I have no accountability at home. All right. Here we go. Now, this card, the first one I've got, this is for Anonymous X, Tanya. And I'm going to shuffle up the deck now. Let me move that mic out of the way. I am a very lucky man, Michelle. Yeah, that's the face to the name. And she's so much taller in real life. All right, here we go. This is for Anonymous and for everybody else on this list for tonight. And one more time. And I only shuffled 3 times, not because I think there's that triune magic to it. Maybe there's a little bit of that. There's got to be a little bit of ceremony, but ceremony is what we bring to the table. It's not necessarily what God or your angels or your spirit guides or the universe need. They're like, okay, shuffle 3 times. We're ready when you are. So it just rearranges. Now, Tanya, I'm going to cut this deck as if you were here to do it for us. And then I'll draw your card right off the top. And for me, I've always done this. I always bang the cards between each shuffle. I always make them neat. In a way, subconsciously, it's knocking off all the other energy off the cards. Okay, here we go. All right, 7 of Wands for you, Tanya. Take a good look at that card. The 7 of Wands shows this is the card of where you're standing in life right now. You're on top of the hill at the moment. It's almost like you're playing King of the Hill. And you've got all these stabs coming up over the edge of the hill at you. It's like having attacks and you're fending them off is the idea with this. So it's kind of like we used to play when we were kids, maybe sometimes when we're adults, King of the Hill. And you're trying to maintain the high position there. And so if you see here, the wands, again, are these things that have to do with your emotional makeup. I don't know why I was slipping there. Maybe that's why I say let's limit it to X number of readings per night. Your mind starts to go. But this is a card that says you're on the high ground. You're defending your ground. It represents initiative. It represents your drive. It represents everything that you bring to the table, your desires. It's the suit, again, wands of excitement, emotion, the exuberance and zeal of youth, the excitement. It's the things that you bring to the table to drive your ability to succeed. And the idea with this card, it's time for your peak performance. Now. It's in the now. Here's where you are. You're on top of the hill. You're holding off all those who are coming at you or trying to get your job or trying to get your position or trying to get the best of you in one way or the other. And even if you're slightly unprepared, you want to push yourself beyond your usual limits right now. You got to think in these larger terms. You got to tweak your competitive nature. Time and effort that you spend in preparation could pay off rewardingly, handsomely, richly for you. You might be the one who vaults right over the heads of those who thought they could outdo you. You got to move beyond rhetoric, verbal challenges. Now is the time to put your head and shoulders above the rest by demonstrating what you're made of, by defending your position. This could be, if this are attacks that are coming your way from people, it's time to defend who you are. It's time to rely on what you know you are and what you bring to the table. Because not only are other people watching, but you have to defend your position where you are. So I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is something that's a grave situation for you or a huge one, or it's a work-related or family-related or what it is, but your emotions are wrapped up in it. And it's saying your emotions are giving you that ability to use your creative ideas, your excitement, your zeal, your lust for adventure, if you will, of one form or another, to hold off those that are coming after you or coming at you at least. And you maintain your high ground. You have the ability to maintain your high ground, so do it. This is a great place to bring up, and you've all heard me, if you watch my show on a regular basis, you know the things I talk about, the things that move me, the things that motivate me. This card brings this up for me. It's that whole idea of life is an adventure. And even when you have people coming at you, coming after you, stressful times, things that you have to put your hard work into, and even if you're not ready for it, you've got to be ready. Don't let those stress you out. These are the times. I mean, I get stressed too. There are days I'm like, God damn it, why is that happening? Friggin' this and that. Damn. All this shit coming at me. And, Jesus, I need to go have a smoke. You know, it's that kind of thing. I go through that all the time. But at the same time, I'm a person who says life's an adventure. So I can push this stuff out because I know I have the ability to overcome it no matter what happens. I can't always control other people, but I can control me. That's what this is. You're controlling your position on the high ground, and you can hold it because you've got the ability to do it, is what this is telling me. All right? This is your emotional makeup. This is about who you are and how you're going to do that. So don't hope you're going to hold the whole ground, the high ground. You know you're going to hold the high ground. Nobody's going to take this from me. I know where I am. I know who I am. I know what the hell I'm doing. So bring your shit. You know, it's like, bring it, bitch, because you've got it wrangled. You know who you are. So there you go. I hope that means something to you. It means courage. Thank you. Courage. There you go. Thank you. And I hope that helped a little bit. It was good for you. All right. Let's see. Is there anything I'm missing in here? Jeannie Griffin is playing solitaire. Anonymous says it's my courage pushing forward for success. Yeah, you got to keep pushing. And pushing doesn't mean you're pushy. It means you're pursuing the stuff that makes you go emotionally, the wands. It's that excitement of life. And if you keep that in perspective, I'm not out to hurt anybody or push anybody out of the way. I'm out to push myself forward. And you can talk about it in my wake. the wake behind me as I move ahead. So there you go. Thank you, Leslie, by the way. All right. We've got Carly. Carly, let's cut the deck for you. Now, I don't know if you're in the chat room or if it's just your husband who's here that asked for a reading for you. So let's cut the deck for you, and we'll take it from there. I hear wildness going on outside my office door. My wife is trying to wrangle the kids, get them upstairs for bed. So here we go. Don't let that distract you, anybody. All right, Carly, here's your card. This is the Five of Swords. Now, swords, again, is that suit of all those things that are conflicts for you. These are things that that are cutting for you, but at the same time, it's your developed discernment. It's your ability to be acerbic just popped into my head, but that's not the word. It's to be sharp, witted, know what you're talking about, to cut things the right way. Now, I want you to take a close look at this card. It's got some symbolism in there. But it's got this guy, and he's standing there looking. He's on the field, and there's these swords sticking out of the ground. He's got a bit of a grimace. It's this grim, sobering process of cleaning up the battlefield after a conflict. And the war as a whole hasn't been won or lost yet. But this is a card that's saying along the way, there have been some grievous casualties. Things haven't gone the way planned all the time. Or the plan has been carried out, but the loss has been great getting there. This admonishes you to very carefully study what went wrong so that a new strategy can be devised. And you can forestall more setbacks of any kind. There's this need to regroup, to rethink, to rewrite the game plan, discover what your blind spots were. Why did they get you at your worst? Or why did they best you? Take the corrective measures before getting back into the field. And nowadays, battles are more battles of wits and words, not battlefields, swords and knives and blood. So that's what this is referring to. This kind of imagery is metaphoric for what's going on. You have reason to examine your approach, our style, your strengths, your weaknesses. It's like communication skills. If you have undeveloped communication skills, it's good for you to wrangle those right now and find a way to make them better. Because it's going to only help you in whatever the situation is to reach your goal, to drive. But things are going to decline if you don't do that, is the idea here. And don't be haunted by the misfortunes, the detours that inevitably, they befall all of us. And we go on to achieve goals, but this is one that says, don't let the setback kill you. You're on the battlefield cleaning up. You're picking up the weapons. You're trying to now regroup and figure out what went wrong here. And this is prepare yourself, is the whole idea. Prepare yourself for disappointment in how the people around you, be they work, be they family, be they friends, whoever, can sometimes be very disappointing. And you got to kind of put on your iron undies for that process, because you've lost something here. You've had a little setback. And the idea here is to don't be too quick to be angry or to jump to conclusions. Just because others might be pessimistic or don't lend you the kind of aid that you wish they would have, even moral support sometimes is missing. Their reality doesn't have to undermine yours. There's no point in struggling and competing with them. Your challenge right now is to learn how to sidestep confrontation, to evoke a more evolved response from people. And if you don't get it, too bad. That's where you can say, shut up, I'm moving on. The onus, here's what we get stuck in life. And I think that this card speaks to when we run into conflicts or things where we have to be discerning, we have to be cutting, and we have to cut back because we're being cut at. We have this tendency to think this is my whole life, this is everything. And if people don't agree with you or they're pessimistic, you failed. You know what? So what? This is where you tell them, shut up. I know who I am. I know what I'm made of. I'm forging forward. And so the idea with this is learn the lesson from the loss and move on. And don't care what anybody else says. I've gotten to that point in my life where I still get affected by people, especially people I trust. Do you know the people that you trust the most are usually the people that hurt you the most? When you're regrouping and you're licking your wounds from something, they're the ones that usually kick you while you're there. See, you should have done this. If every time I put a post up online that says something like, I have this sore spot on my thing, and everybody goes, what you need to do? You really need to get a thing that hooks the lob jab into your thing, and you got to shove that cord up in there, and then you got to do this thing, and everybody has unsolicited advice, and people have unsolicited criticism. It's like, if I want your criticism, I'll fucking ask for it. Pardon my French. This is where you are. Don't let what people say get you down. Because you know what? You're standing on that battlefield. You still got your sword strapped to your waist. You're picking up. You're still there. You're still strategizing. All you got to do is figure out how. And by the way, if somebody tells you they've never failed, it's bullshit. Everybody's been there. Even the people who scoff at you or laugh at you or go, well, here's what you really need to do. And, my response to them is, what you really need to do is shut up, because I'll figure this out. Thank you very much. Don't need your criticism. And, it's you're with me or you're against me kind of thing. If you want to cheer me on, cheer me on. If you want to criticize me because I failed, then there's the door. And bring a scotch next time. So there you go. That's my thinking on this. And I'm using vernacular here because this is real life stuff. I hate reading Tarot and having it be sing-songy for people. I want you to know that this means something. There's a real message here that says something happened, Carly. I don't know what it was. Something has set you back. It's either it, and it's the things of life where you feel you've got some discernment, but it's cutting at you and you got to cut back. Something has happened to you that feels like a setback. It might not be a huge, big thing. It might be a small thing of life, a facet, a day, a thing you're going through. It might be something much bigger, but whatever it is, it's not insurmountable. And this is telling you, take the loss and run with it. Figure it out. Okay, I did this when I should have done that. I lost here because I did that. Reconnoiter, regroup, reconfigure, and figure out how to not let it happen again. So the onus is on you. And the beautiful thing about this card is that somebody's telling you this. And what I mean is somebody on a more universal level, a more metaphysical level, is sharing this with you and going, look, buck up. Because now you have the opportunity to regroup and do better next time. Learn the lessons. Okay, enough. I could go on and on and on about that. So, Carly, I hope that means something for you. And I hope it was spot on. And you can take something good away from that. There you go. All right. And Leslie, some of you guys know something I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. Could be a big loss, could be a small loss. It could be a nothing, it could be a huge. So But now you know where to go from here. You know what to do, how to do. All right. Oh, she says this was so spot on and so needed, says Roger, after the loss of her friend. Oh, there you go. I missed that. This resonates so much. Thank you. She says, you're welcome, Carly. Hope it helps. All right, let's move on. I got Barbara D. Barbara D. Barbara D, come on down. I'm going to cut the deck for you as if you were the one here cutting it. Boom, boom, and boom. All right. Barbara D, I'm going to tell you something. That same card I put in that I just read, and I didn't shuffle, but I cut the deck a few times. That card fell out twice. It fell out the first time I put it back. I usually pick up cards that come out and I put them back. Or I'm sorry, and I read them. Now it came out again. It fell out again. I'm going to tell you something, Barbara D. I don't know if anything like that's going on in your life, but that card popped up accidentally twice on me in the last 30 seconds. So apply that if it is. But I'm going to draw another card for you as well off the top of the deck. But that came up twice. So everything I just said to Carly may have something to do with you. I always find that there's no accidents. If a card drops out, it means something. So I pick it up and read it. Now, I didn't want to read the same card again, and I went against my own rules, and I put it back on the bottom of the deck, and I picked up the deck to cut it again, and it fell out again, which said somebody snapping their fingers in my face and saying, Scotty, she needs the same message. But I'm going to pull another card for you anyway. But I think you've got some of the same stuff going on. Roger, you've helped her with the card more than anything has ever said ever. She thanks you so much and have a new fan for her thing. Well, thanks. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Carly. That's what it's about. I hope it helps. So for you now, Barbara D, you got something going on. I don't know what it is, but the same message is applicable to you that we just gave Carly, I believe, because it fell out twice. But I've drawn this second card for you. Now, on top of all of that I just told Carly, all those attributes, all those things to move forward and to learn from the mistakes and learn from the losses, you're getting this card. I drew this second card. After I believe, damn it, people, I got to tell you something. I tell my wife, I said, if I don't believe this stuff, then I'm a fraud. I shouldn't read cards if I don't believe it. And I said, I believe it. I'm not trying to convince myself I believe it. I'm telling myself that when I see a card drop off the bottom of the deck, it means something. If I see it happen twice in a row, it means doubly something. And I believe that there is truth to that. So, but having said that and read that card now again for you, here's what you get. You got strength. This is a card that is so easy to read because it says you are now, because of all of this stuff of the Five of Swords, all of this stuff that you've gone through, that you have to appropriate from the Five of Swords. This is a card that you have to also recognize in your life. It represents nature. However, wild in its primal form, it's tamed by our subtler, finer self. You know me. I'm not a big believer in the male and female aspect of both genders. I think I've said this before. I don't think men have female sides. I don't think females have male sides. I think we exhibit the true natures, the true attributes of our natures, of our genetics, of our physiology, our biology, the way we're wired. I'm wired to be a man. And when I exhibit things that people say, that's your feminine side coming out. See, no, it's not. It's my real masculinity coming out. Same thing for a woman. So this card, when you see strength, they usually say, oh, well, that's the male thing. No, it's really not. It's women are strong and men are strong. The wild passion of our instinctive nature. Doesn't need to be broken, but it's refined. It's brought to consciousness. All levels of creation come into harmony with this card. This is that persuasive power that can nurture you. You nurture yourself with it. It induces cooperation, followership. It disrupts. It disrupts energies that are trying to fuck with you. I can't think of the right word right now. Sorry, that's gonna have to do. Strength does that. It harmonizes differences in the spirit of collective goodwill. This is a card that says, as you assertively discipline yourself and separate your self-interest from enlightened wisdom, that you're going to identify your intuition. Your strength is going to come out. It uses the lion, the king of the jungle is the idea. And it's got the woman with the crown. She's kind of got that, hang on. Forgive me for this. Only because I got to look closer. Yeah, it's the infinity symbol. I thought for a minute that was a weird shaped bird. If you look over her head, that's the infinity symbol. And I'm very familiar with that just today, again, because I was doing a logo design for Professor Bauer, and I was looking for a symbol for cosmology and metaphysics and things like that. And I kept coming across the infinity, and I said, that's going to be the best symbol. And so I'm seeing that, and I'm thinking, because of the laurel wreath this woman is wearing in the picture, and she's holding the lion, and she's got the infinity symbol. This is, cosmologically speaking, or metaphysically speaking, this is the power of the true feminine, is strength. It's like the king of the jungle. And this is what you're expressing right now. And this is what you need to grasp onto right now, is this right here. Demand and expect from others that they fall in alignment with your intuition and you working toward the desires of your will, the things that you willfully incorporate. You can look at other people now, like this woman is holding the head of the lion. She's directing strength. You have the power in this situation. You have the power to direct others to do what you want them to do. You can't challenge them to live to a higher standard if you yourself haven't done it. So you influence others by setting an example of integrity. Your self-esteem will increase as you succeed in your efforts, and your integrity grows, your character grows. All of this is saying you got originally that card, the same one as Carly, the Five of Swords. And so that's a given. That was a freebie. Twice it fell off the deck. Now this is, as a result of that strength. Incorporate this, take it, make it happen, make it work for you is the idea. And then others are going to see that. And you have the ability to turn that lion's head wherever you want it to go. So there you go. Barbara, I hope that helps. Hope that meant something. Jim, you're around here somewhere, I know. Come on in here. Is it Kincaid? Is Jim? Yes, there you are. Let's go, Jim. I'm going to take this deck and I am going to cut it for you as if you were sitting here face to face. I'd shuffle it and I'd have you take the deck and have you cut it. So I'm doing that on your behalf. Here we go. Boom. Here we go. Here's your card, Jim. You've got the Three of Cups, which is an interesting card. You see this card right here? This is a card. Again, cups is that that suit. It's the suit in the deck of your passions. It can be your relationships, your romances, your family affairs. All of these things in your life is what the cups can stand for. It's your passionate things in life that you put, not your emotional energies like the stabs or the wands. It's your passions. Now, if you look here, you got this triumvirate, if you will, of beautiful women, and they're all holding golden chalices. And there's what they're doing here is they're getting together, they're celebrating. Um, the name of this card in the deck is really consent. It's yes, is what this means. I don't know what's on your heart and mind. I don't know what you're thinking. This is a card that says, yeah, consenting energy. This is something that says, it's resonating this spirit of agreement, this mutual support, this encouragement and teamwork. This is all wrapped up in this card right here. It's these three women, they're celebrating their connectedness. There's a dance, they're lifting cups, a mutual admiration society kind of thing. And so the idea with this card right here, to look at this closely, that it advises you to tune in with your family, fully inform them about what's going on with you, because there's something going on with you that they need to know about. It's not a negative. It's a yes. It's a consent. Tell your family. Let them add substance to your ideas with their talent and their imagination. Think of this as celebration. This is their support. It helps you find your success. And there might be something here for everybody to contribute in. So this is a card. It doesn't get, I remember all the times I've gotten this card over 35 years. I try to expand on it in my own head to make it more meaningful, to make it deeper than it is. And it's not a super deep card. This is a card about celebrating together and enhancing what you've got and letting those around bring to the table for you. Expanding your passions. Celebrating. That used to be when I first started reading the Tarot. It's all I knew about this card. This is a card that says celebrate and celebrate together with those that you know. And now there's a synergy between you and the people you trust, your family connections, your good friends, the loving hands in your life. They all can contribute their individual talents, their creativities, and you're going to love the results. So all I got to tell you is this card just simply is a one big, fat, juicy, lovely, soft, cushy, warm, fuzzy yes. Do it. Move forward because you got something to gain, and those around you can help you gain. All right? Yeah. Cheers. It's a celebration. To quote Rick James. There it is. There you go. So, Jim, I hope this is helpful for you. I hope it's spot on for you. You got something good going on. I can't wait to hear what it is, because I want to hear what you're celebrating. I want to hear what you're, if it's not a private thing, you know. So I hope that helps. I hope it means something. I hope it's meaningful. So there you go. All right, Alexandros, you're next, if I'm pronouncing that right, because it's spelled differently, but I'm assuming it's pronounced the same way. Alexandros. You're up. There you are. You're ready. Phew. That was easy. All right, I'm going to cut the deck for you. Here we go. Cutting on your behalf. Sometimes when I cut the deck, I cut it all over the place. So 5, 6, 7 times. There we go. I always tell people when they're present with me, I say, cut the deck. once, twice, 3, 10 times. Whatever feels right, and restack it for me, and we draw off at the top. So, Alexandros, here you are. This is a face card. This could be you. The royal face cards, the kings and the queens, always are a particular real person in our experience and in our sphere. This is either you or this is somebody you know that's within your sphere, somebody that has great influence on you. It could just be you as well. Now, let's see. Let's go through the attributes of this card. It's a royal face card. It's masculine energy. It is it's the king. It's the king, and it's the king of swords. Is that as we've covered tonight already? It's that suit of power, of cutting energy, of discernment, of conflict you bring, conflict you give, or that's given to you and that you bring. Both sides of that. This is a guy. He's the adjudicator. He's the wise man. He's the judge. He's the bringer of common sense and sometimes hard sense to the solution of something. He's the one that would look at you and say, all right, everybody, I hear everything going on. Let's cut the bullshit and let's get to the core of the matter. This is what you all need to know. And now look at this guy. Look at the face. Look at the stature. He's the archetype of the archetypical Solomon character. He's the ancient lawgiver. He's the philosopher. He's also somebody who's on the top. He's like a mogul in his field kind of thing. That's the kind of energy he gives. And this is a card that says you have to research your situation. Whatever you're in right now, you've got to research it deeply. You've got to process and question existing authorities. The onus is on you to look at the authorities over you and question it. This is probably who you are. And you have to make proper judgment is the idea here. It might be time to examine all the underlying assumptions in whatever this is. You got to bring greater clarity into areas that are kind of left in the dark. Don't wait for other people to do it. You're the king. You do it. You draw on the conclusions. And you got to spend time reviewing all the ramifications, because this King of Swords requires this thorough, methodical examination of your ideas, your possibilities. You got to call forward this sober, wise part of yourself. It's the elder father figure. And then you have to act on the instructions that are given to you and that you give to others. This is a king of power. You are someone who you've got the power, you've got the discernment, you've got the ability to make the right decisions. And this is a reminder of that to you. You are the King of Swords. You hold the sword of power. It's like the buck stops here. I know what I'm doing and I know how to do it. So this is where you are right now. You have to be in your current situation, whatever it is. I have no indication as to what it is, but you have to play the king and the King of Swords, the guy who takes the sword. You're the discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart, so to speak. You're the one who cuts to the quick, cuts to the core, cuts to the true meaning. It might cause a little conflict, but that's okay. We all have conflict. We all have to live with conflict. Sometimes we have to live with dispensing conflict. Sometimes telling the truth creates conflict. So this is who you are, Alexandros. There you go. And you're welcome. Oh, I see you say amazing 1,000%. You have to know it. You have it. You know it. So there it is. Oh, well, thank you. So hopefully that's helpful. Now we've got Joyce. Joyce, you're not on deck. You're now up at the plate. Let me divide the cards for you, Joyce. And let's take it from there. And you know what? I choose to not second guess anymore. Because no matter what my second guess is on anything, it's always going to be that answer. If I do it here, or if I go, I'm going to second guess and go here, it was meant to be there. Same thing with the cards when I'm cutting them. I go, maybe I should. Doesn't matter. It's going to be where it's supposed to be. All right, here we go. This is for Joyce. Oh, this is one of my favorite female cards. It's a queen, and it's the Queen of Wands. This is again, wands has to do with your emotions, everything you bring to the table, all the things that make you go. This card is initiative, it's ambition, it's drive, it's desire, it's enterprise. The woman here represents the natural manager. Her gift is to inspire teamwork, divvy up tasks. She's the one who sees and ensures that everything goes smoothly. She'll be the one sweating in the sun, along with her family, along with her crew, along with everybody who's working. She's the leader who works by getting her fingernails dirty and makes sure that things get done. And she inspires everybody, keeps up the morale. She has infectious energy. If you look at the red here, in the suit of wands in this deck, it's got red on all the characters. They're all wearing something red, or there's something red in the picture. The red is supposed to represent fire, exuberance, zeal, excitement, energy. And it's that zeal, that youthful is attached to all of that. Youthful zeal, youthful energy, youthful excitement is what this card is about. And so, and the wands, the staves, these are symbols of enterprise and creativity. This woman is creativity. Sometimes this card alone, just this card, the queen or the king of wands, represents starting something new, like a new business, a new adventure, a new venture. Because it's that creative energy that's being used and the ability to lead people. She is also somebody that can uncover hidden agendas. She's got that creative energy to not just be the go-getter and be the helper and be the leader that helps, but she is also the one who uncovers some things. There's a controlling tendency that's no secret, and the people around you have the insight to perceive what's happening. And don't think, how would I say this? Your hidden agenda, your personal agenda, isn't necessarily undetected. Don't deny it. If it's brought to light, it's more important that your team members trust you than it is to perceive or put forward an image that you don't think they know. If you've got your own hidden agenda going on and things, it's okay. And people recognize that already. But you're the leader who is the good leader as well. And so the whole idea with this, you need to hold your place in the chain of command. You need you need to respect the hierarchy, at least for now. You're the queen, not the king. So it's telling you be the queen to the fullest, to the hilt. But remind yourself you're not the king. There is a hierarchy to your position. And this may not be the time for you to helm or be at the helm, to run the ship, to turn the wheel. Even if you're motivated by your dedication to something or completing a project or overcoming a challenge, it might not be yours to do. A perceived deficiency in leadership may make you want to take hold of the reins, but don't, for God's sake, Joyce, don't do it, is the idea here. This card says, don't take the reins right now when they're not your place to take them. That's the advice. And this is good advice. You know why? Because somebody's telling you, they're warning you ahead of time. Watch how you do this. Don't do this. That's good advice because you've got all the talent to do it, but it says don't do that right now. It's not your place right now. Restrain yourself. Remain loyal to your higher ups. Stay focused. Stay energetic. Confront the challenges directly in front of you. You got to perform in good faith and encourage others to keep doing the same is the idea with this. So you are the Queen of Wands. You are the one who has the ability to make things go. And if you have no king in your house, as you just said, doesn't matter. This may not be about your house. This is saying in life, you might not be in the position to be the one who needs, you may have the abilities to do something, but that doesn't mean you're the one who gets to do them right now. There's something else going on. It says you're the queen, you've got the ability, you've got the enterprise, you've got the followership, you've got the leadership qualities, but there's something that needs you to recognize you got to pull back on the reins a little bit. There are people that I know, and maybe you know them too, who have all the ability in the world, but they push it a little too hard. And everybody goes, if they just lighten up a little bit, they might have this conquered, or they might be what they're supposed to be, or it's all going to fall into place. Remember, we had some cards tonight that said, now is the time to push it beyond your limits. This is a card that says, don't push it beyond your limits right now, because right now you've got to take the position of being the royal. You're still royalty, still the leader, but you're not the leader. There's something going on here that's putting you in a position. It might not be because you don't have a man in the house. So what? Maybe you're the king. I don't know. But this is saying don't push beyond your limits right now. Let it take place as it's supposed to take place. So, yeah, you just said you got two sons who need to take some charge. Maybe it's your opportunity as the queen who has all these wonderful leadership abilities, all this creative energy, all these people who love and follow you. It's time for you to say, I could take over here, guys, but you know what? You don't even say that. You push them to be what they're supposed to be. This is what you're doing. You're deliberately, when you have the rulership ability, pushing you're the what's the word I'm looking for? You're not the king, you're the kingmaker in this instance. You're pushing somebody to expand their abilities. So there you go. I hope that was spot on for you. All right, folks. You know what? That's it on my list. It's 11:15 my time. We've been going 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I could probably go for 2 more hours, but you'd see me babbling by then. That's all the readings I'm going to do for tonight. We'll do this again next week, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. When I do it on weeknights, when it's not a Friday, I'm limited by my amount of time, which might be a good thing because we've got the Situation Room at 11. And so we'll announce next week. I think we'll shoot for Tuesday. I want to thank you for being here. I hope this was good for you guys. Let me reiterate to those of you who are left here, if you want to get a full reading, come on over. It helps me. It helps you, hopefully. You can get the $85 reading, the full 10-card spread for the $45 price. All you have to do, go to my website, sign up for the $45 price, and it's that link right there. You can go there. Do it. You got about 15 minutes left until midnight Central Standard Time. So go ahead. You got 15 more minutes. Make your purchase on PayPal there. Sign up. Let me know how to get a hold of you, or you get a hold of me. It'll show up in my PayPal like immediately. It rings into my phone or something. So if you want to do a reading and do a full reading, hopefully this kind of evening gives you an idea of the kind of reading I do and the energy I put into it and the energy that's given from the outside to you. I just channel it. So there you go. That's all I'll say about that. If you like this, hit the like button on your way out. Share my page. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And that helps me out too. And that's it. And I will see you next time. It is now Friday night, 1:45. And Saturday and Sunday I take off. That does not mean I will not make a surprise appearance somewhere. Sometimes I do. Most weekends I do. I pop in for a few minutes about something. But if not, I will see you back here, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. West Coast time on Monday evening. And we'll take up a new topic and get rolling then. So thanks for being here. I appreciate that you would take your time to come and listen to me talk. You take your time to be here. It means a lot to me. So you guys all have a good night. Thanks for being here. See you again next time. Good night.